Hello everyone. We want to visualize today what an empty classroom means, because I'm in one. And so we want to see what happens when man receives something, let's say a lesson, a knowledge, or how he's simply receiving the information that it's his moment. As you observe yourself, you will appreciate the structures that naturally come to you. So you will no longer think you're stupid. You will just have an appreciation for how you're receiving or becoming aware of the presence of thought. So as you become aware of it, you also have an awareness of the flexibility of a view. A view is very able. Mankind is a shape in a view. So what that means is the experiencer is always beyond the experience of, in a sense, the object of experience. So reality is really how you acknowledge it to then allow yourself to experience it. And so that acknowledgement is important because before that acknowledge comes, there needs to be a sense of clarity. There needs to be a sense that your I don't knows are making life one that is not satisfying you. And so that lack of satisfaction is an inspiration. It is not a curse. It is something that is telling you, okay, keep going. And as you keep going, you will realize that in you letting go of all those things that you wanted, you have given yourself the permission of a new self. And so you sometimes see that regardless of whatever childhood experiences you had, the temporal or shape or image your awareness to form is not having the same impact. It's as if your ability is being cultivated and received through an innate knowing. And innate, that means it's too inside you to see. It's like for us it eventually becomes emptiness when we split up the particle. And that emptiness, we're just playing with it. We're all playing with absence. We're all playing with space. And that's how we have come up with even a time to then come up with a watch. To then realize that we only needed to just watch life. You cannot resist the unknown because you see that you're resisting yourself. And what that means is that if you're, let's say, not going to the gym and you know you can't go to the gym, you're resisting that. You're creating that sense of resistance that again leads to the incapability that you think is you, but it's not. Because you are the awareness to infinite change. And what that means is that you, sometimes we think that just getting another intense answer is better than an answer that's not as intense. You know, human communication is really not human at all. Because you're becoming aware that the awareness to communication, regardless of what immediate form it becomes self-aware in, is beyond that reality. So it's as if we are the system where one aspect of the system is realizing, wait a minute, I'm not complete, you know, but gosh, oh, I am part of a completion, that then I can be complete. So you see how you're opening your eyes in this existence is showing you what you're seeing, but also after you're looking around a while, you'll be like, okay, there's more to see, you know, and so sight evolves into itself, similar to how the sight of an ape evolved into the sight of man. Because it's not that the animal is gone, it's just that man has had such exploration of its knowing and such awareness that he cannot just be limited to that intelligence. And so you see that when it's consciousness that is allowing transcendence as it is, even beyond linearization, you will see that your road will dissolve into all roads. And so as roads merge and have been merged, you will see that you are not remembering past lives or future lives or your higher self or whatever. You're just this moment of experience that is acknowledging its ideas and forms of transition. So what that means is you have suddenly become this meaningless space of observance that is aware of all meaning. So it's like you're recognizing that it's your eyes that are looking at the painting, you know? Where before you were like, it's everything, it's how life has brought me here. No. You are looking at this painting. And so as you acknowledge this painting it's very hard because some people are so stuck in this painting. They're like, what a magnificent painting this infinite world is. And so they're just caught into, not caught, but they have gone so deeply in appreciating this painting where they think they're in the painting. And so some people need to come say, hey man, that's a painting, man, relax, relax. So we need security guards like that, I think. But anyway, what I'm trying to communicate is that your attention to that painting can be one where it can be filled, or that experience can also be empty. So it's like, just like how you saw a lot of value and a lot of deep, profound meaning in that artwork, somebody else didn't. And it doesn't mean that it's there, and it doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means that there are different dimensions of experience. And so when you're opened to the realms of how existential intelligence flows, if you're interpreting it, you're just blocking your own eyes. You're just creating blindfolds. You need no interpretation. It's that moment, it's where you're in the rain and you just throw your umbrella away, the thing where nobody could have ever thought. They're like, I could understand him like selling the umbrella. I could understand him, holding it and not using it or carrying it. But why did he throw a completely good umbrella? And it's that madness, which is what poets throughout ancient times have done through sacred hymns, where they were telling you reality is not just the reality you think, because thought is not just thought, and you're not just you. But once you become aware of it, all that you know is within a moment of your experience. And there's a profound element to that, because you find yourself when before you were actually finding yourself to be lost. And so an empty classroom becomes really a very wonderful experience, because then you realize there is no student, there is no teacher, and you're here. And so the greatest lesson is to be aware of here and now. And so if you go through this, you will be in a greater platform of knowing yourself beyond ideology, beyond form, and beyond terminology that is just arrogantly captured as man's voice. Man's voice is his whole being. So it's not that like Martin Luther King's greatest speech, even though I do acknowledge it like that in many talks, but his greatest speech it's like there was no great speech. He just lived in a very allowed way for himself. So his internal dimensions could be communicated well, and that's why he was a profound speaker, because he was that allowance. He did not see the distinction. It's like just by seeing how black men and white men were being treated differently, his mind took that to an existential level, and perhaps he had become realized, and realizing that there is no difference between men, similar to how there is no difference in value in one moment of existence as more than another, by making some guy a guru and you being a student who knows nothing. No, it's simply how you're engaged and how you're aware and how your eyes are introduced to you that you really realize the nature of revelation. It's something that's internally. It's like that moment where you saw the superhero was just absorbing his energy before expressing it. And so that absorption is an allowance to let things be. So sometimes when I find myself in moments where let's say some question comes in, I ask a deep question for myself, and I'm just wondering, gosh, well, I need to know the answer to this. Sometimes I ask questions and I observe, and I see that in asking that question, the most immediate thing I need to acknowledge is the ability to see more than the self that question imposes. So if that question says, why am I such a limited being, I have to immediately observe a limited being, for example, and what that means to me. And in observing those definitions, I will be taken to a platform of my own wonder to break out of those ideas that no longer need to be relevant to me in that way. Because regardless of how much we say there is relevance, this relevance is being, in a sense, novel through different moments of life. In other words, it's not that like if we're 8 billion people, all of us are important and crucial to know what humanity is. And so we will know it through our awareness. Much blessings and namaste, and the class is no longer empty.